Hello friends, today we have come here to discuss about the UPSC Civil Service Examination notification that has come out on the 4th of March this year. Now please remember that the last date for receipt of applications is the 24th of this month, but please do not wait until the 24th or the 22nd or the 23rd to start applying. There are many reasons why I am asking you not to do this, and one reason of which is because you might not get a center of your choice if you're applying the last moment. Now, this is especially true if you're coming from a place like Delhi, where the centers are going to run out of seats for you to go and write the exam. Now, the next thing that you will have to remember is that there are a couple of documents which you have to upload during the application process, which includes your photographs and your signatures. Now, they have been specifically mentioned in what dimensions and in what color and all you have to upload these photographs. So please make it a point that you don't wait until the 22nd or 23rd to realize that you have to do these things. And the last thing why I'm asking you to do this is because there are also a couple of other documents which you need to upload, especially if you're somebody from the OBC category. And you will have to give a number which is issued with your OBC certificate before, like, while you start applying for your UPSC examination. So please remember these things. Please do not wait until the 22nd or the 23rd to start applying. Apply as early as you can. Now that said, let us go into the next part of the video where we are going to discuss about the Union Public Service Commission. Now, we all know that UPSC or the Union Public Service Commission is a constitutional body, and they have been entrusted with the powers to work as the main recruitment agency for the center and to some services in the states. Now, which are these? One, you have your All India services, which includes IAS and IPS. Then you have the central services, which includes IRS and IFS. And then you also have armed forces and allied services, as you can see here. Now, the main exam which we're going to discuss right now is the civil service examination. And the exam that is being conducted parallelly with the civil services examination is the Indian Forest Service exam. Then the other exams which have been conducted by UPSC year on year are the Indian Engineering Services for engineering graduates, Economic Services for economic graduates, then Combined Defense Services and Central Armed Police Force for those who are interested in the uniform services after graduation. And if you are interested in the uniform services even before graduation, then you have your NDA and the non-academic exam. There's also another examination called the Combined Medical Services, which most people do not know about, but these are basically for doctors who wish to get into the national level health services. Now, the next thing we would like to cover in this video are the services that are covered under the UPSC Civil Services Examination. And as you all know, the most important, most famous services are the Indian Administrative Services, Indian Foreign Service, and Indian Police Services. Now, following these, there are also other amazing services which recruit people through the same exam. Some of which are the Indian Revenue Service, Customs and Indirect Taxes, and the IRS Income Tax Group. All of which are Group A services. Now, the other services which also come under UPSC Civil Service Examination are, you have your Indian Postal Services, then you also have Indian Audit and Account Services, and then you have your Defense Estate Services, and as you might know, there are also some Group B services which are recruiting people through the same exam. They're basically for people who are working in either in the Armed Forces headquarters or who are looking for working in Delhi, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Daman, and the Dadar and Nagar Haveli services. That said, the next thing that we have to talk about when we talk about the UPSC notification is the number of vacancies. Now, in 2021 of this year, the number of vacancies has been listed to be 712, which has been a drastic reduction from the 796 vacancies which came in 2020, which in itself was a drastic reduction from the 896 vacancies which were notified in 2019. Now, as you can see, there has been a general downward trend in the number of vacancies available under UPSC exams, especially under UPSC Civil Service examination. Now, this is because this can be attributed to a couple of reasons. One, the number of services that are recruiting through this exam has come down. This is especially true for those for the Indian Railway services. Then there has been an increase in the number of lateral entry people. And there has also been a reduction in the number of vacancies that have been listed for some all India services and for some central services like the IRS Customs. Mind you, even after this, the number of people who are applying for this exam every year is more than 10 lakh plus. That's almost 1 million. That's more than 1 million people. Now, this is exactly why this examination has been considered one of the toughest exams for anyone to crack. Even though 10 lakh apply, around 6 to 7 lakh people write this exam. But I assure you that if you are able to study, you are definitely going to come in the first or the top 50 to 70,000 people who are dedicating their day in and day out for this exam. If you can ensure that you're going to come in this group of the top 50,000 to 70,000 people, then there's a chance for you to come in the top 1,000. Yeah, this is going to take a lot of hard work and perseverance. So all the best, guys. The next thing we would like to talk about in this video are the exam stages. Now, as usual, as in every year, this examination has been divided into 3 stages. One is the first stage is known as the preliminary or the prelims. The second stage is known as the mains. And the third stage is known as the interview. Now, the preliminary exam, this examination happens in one day. There are 2 papers that you have to write on the same day. One is known as GS and the next paper is known as Csat. The first paper is known as paper 1 or GS or General Studies. Second one is paper 2 or Csat. Now, mind you, this paper 2 is only of a qualifying nature. It is you need to get only or at least 33% of marks plus to qualify this paper. Now, Csat is one paper that looks at your comprehension skills, your reasoning ability, your mental ability, your decision making skills, your basic numeracy, and your logical reasoning. Now, mind you, both papers are for 200 marks each. And for the second paper, you need to get at least 33% of the marks to qualify this exam. Now, the first paper is GS or General Studies. As the name suggests, it has almost every subject that you can think of, starting with current affairs, polity, history, geography, science and tech, economy, environment, and everything else that you can think of under the sun. Now, mind you, environment has become a huge part in the preliminary stage because the preliminaries for UPSC Civil Service examination and the UPSC Forest Services examinations are the same. That's why the environment part in this paper has become very important over the past couple of years. Now, coming to mains, you have to write 9 papers which are all written. Mind you, while your prelims was completely objective, your mains is completely going to be written. Out of which there are two qualifying papers, out of which one is English language and the other is is some Indian language that you have to choose. The other seven papers which are actually going to count in your final results are paper 1, that is essay, paper 2, that is GS1, paper 3, that is GS2, paper 4, that is GS3, paper 5, that is GS4, paper 6 and paper 7, which are all going to depend on your option. Now, when you start applying, you will find out an option. Now, when you start applying, you will realize that you need to pick out one optional subject from the list of subjects that have been given in the notification. And out of these many option subjects, when you pick one, you will have to write two papers in the same option. That is paper 1 and paper 2. These two are going to be your paper 6 and paper 7 in your examination. Now, each of these seven papers are going to be marked out of 250 marks. Therefore, the total of these seven papers are going to be 1750 marks. So, when you start writing mains, you should know that you are writing an examination for worth 1750 marks. Next comes the final stage of the process as the interview. And the interview is a stage that counts for 275 marks of the total. Therefore, in total, your marks are going to be counted out of 2025 marks. Now, let us take a look at the qualifying marks that have been coming up in the past couple of years. In the preliminary stage or the stage 1 of the exam, in 2019, the qualifying marks or the cutoff mark for a general category student has been 98, while for an OBC that has been 95.34. SC it was 82. SC has been 82, sorry, SC has been 82, and SC is 77.34. I hope you have heard the news that from 2019 onwards there has been a special category that has been notified, and they are the economically weaker sections. When they became a separate category, their cutoff has also come as a separate thing. So in 2019, the EWS had a cutoff of almost 90 marks. You will see the same trends for 2018 and 2017, but as you can see, there has been a lowering in the cutoff marks, which means that the examination has been getting a bit more difficult. Now, coming to the mains or the second stage of the exam, the people who qualify the first stage after they clear their cutoff move on to the mains exam. And in the mains exam, as we have seen earlier, you need to get and in the mains exam, as we have seen earlier, the total marks are going to be out of 1750 marks. Now, in 2019, a general category student, if he or she had gotten 751 marks, then they would have qualified for the third stage of the process, that is the interview. So, this is the cutoff that has been coming in the past couple of years again. So, in mains 2019, the general category cutoff was 751, while OBC was 718. EWS has been 696, SC has been 706, while ST has been 699. The same trend goes for 2018 and 2017. This goes on to show that if you as a candidate are able to score at least 751 marks out of 1750 marks, you are going to qualify the second stage or mains. After they qualify the second stage, they move on to the interview, which is again for as we have seen, was 275 marks. Now, once that is done, the final list is published. And even in the final list, it has been seen that in 2019, if you are a general category candidate, then if you would have gotten 961 marks, then your name would have been on the list. Same goes for OBC if you have gotten 925, SC if you gotten 898, ST if you have gotten 893, and the economically weaker section if you have gotten 909 marks. Mind you, this is out of a total of how much? This is out of a total of 2025. So if you as a candidate would have gotten 961 marks out of 2025 marks, you would have cleared UPSC exam. Finally, before we close for the day, let's look at a mark of our toppers of each year. 2019, 18 and 2017. 2019, the topper was Pradeep Singh. His option was public administration. And the total written marks that he got that year was 914. As we had seen earlier, the cutoff that we had seen that year was around 751. While the topper or the rank 1 that year had gotten 914 marks. In the interview, he scored 158. So in total, out of 2025 marks, he had gotten 1072 marks, which roughly comes to about 52.2% of the total marks. Likewise, in 2018, the percentage has actually been 53.8%, and in 2017, it has been 54.2%, which shows that if you as a candidate are able to score at least 50% marks plus, you are definitely going to come out in the top 100. Now I know that most of you are students who have the willpower and the perseverance to do this. So please be at it. This is completely doable. Like I told you, there are a couple of things that you need. One is your courage to do this. This is going to be a 1-year long exam. So you need to have the courage to sacrifice a lot of things for this exam. Then another thing that you would have, like courage, you are also going to need something else called perseverance. Now, if you have both of these two and you have the willpower to do things, you only need one more thing to do or to qualify this exam or to crack this beast of an exam, and that is the ability to know what to do and what not. Now, this we want to clear in the next video that we are going to post. If you like our video, please subscribe and share. Thank you, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.